I just wanted your opinion on Draft Bernie.
It's a good premise, you know, to if you want to build another party, I'm not against that, you know, because I don't think any progress is going to come through the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So, yeah, on its surface, building another party is, you know, that can be commended, that kind of decision. The only problem I have with it is the whole Draft Bernie angle is, I don't know. I don't see it ever coming to fruition because Bernie is a Democrat. No matter if he actually says that he's an independent, he's a Democrat because he caucuses with Democrats. When he's going to run for president, he's going to run for president as a Democrat. He supports Democrats. He's on Democratic boards. For all intents and purposes, Bernie Sanders is a Democrat, and I haven't actually heard him talk about Draft Bernie, and I think that I think there's a reason for that. I don't think he has any intention on actually leaving the Democratic Party. If he did, now would be the best time to do that, because if you're going to build a political party, a new political party, that's going to take a lot of effort. That's going to take a lot of fundraising, a lot of hands-on activity. You need to start doing that well before the 2020 election, and that he hasn't come on board to do that, I think speaks volumes.
Yeah, that pretty much is the gist of it all. If you're going to, you know, suggest that any candidate be drafted, right, you kind of have to, I guess, you have to establish whether they want to be drafted themselves. And yes, he hasn't submitted his name to be drafted, so I do think it's a pipe dream. And I think one other thing, you mentioned it in the live stream, but didn't mention it just now, and not just the money aspect of it and the crowdfunding, but what about visibility?
Yeah, the popularity.
The popularity
right,
of it. That's the big part of it. Will they be able to gather enough steam? I mean,
and if they are going to do that, you got to start.
You got to
like
start.
Yesterday.
Yes, yeah. It's we're beyond that point where they kind of should have started. Like I said, it's a good premise.
Yes,
but can it logically and can it logistically like happen? You know, and I don't think it can. That's not bad mouthing it.
Yeah,
but you know,
I don't bad mouth the effort. It's just, if we're speaking in reality, Bernie would have to actually say, I'm a part of this. I'm with this effort. I believe in it. I'm your candidate. And that he hasn't done that is just like I said, it tells me what I need to know about it, you know.
Yeah, we pretty much on the same page with that.
Well, I think the Democrats are characterized by their neoliberalism, right? And
no doubt.
Bernie is not a neoliberal. He's a progressive. He's a leftist, relatively speaking, right? And I don't, you know, obviously the Democratic Party as an institution has no interest in actually supporting an actual progressive candidate.
You don't say, Rick.
So, I mean, I understand this like conception of where, you know, Bernie is actually making more of a logistical move, right? He's associating himself with the Democratic Party only because his chances of being visible are heightened. And it's the same exact thing that Ron Paul went through like 12 years ago, when he's actually a libertarian, but he associated himself with the Republican Party only for the sake of visibility, despite the fact that he's not a neocon.
Correct.
Right? So, but at the same time, like, you know, I personally don't feel like we can work within the, you know, this dyad of Democrat, Republican. I don't think we can actually work in the system when we want progressive change. But you're talking about, you know, if we're speaking in terms of reality. Well, if we're speaking in terms of reality and we're not necessarily considering any sort of alternative other than the two-party system, then both of those ideas kind of clash with one another, right? Like, there's no change to be foreseen in the future if both of those things are in fact correct. You have no visibility if you're not in the main two parties, but if you're not in the main two parties, then we're not speaking in reality. Like, I feel like there has to be some sort of progressive step that has to be taken to get us out of the two-party system, right?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, and it has to be a very it has to be a progressive step that leaves a big footprint. That's the key.
Yeah.
If, like you said, if both things are true, that you can't get progress through the Democratic Party, and you're not going to get the visibility through another party, a third party, it does look like a dire situation. But you know, that's where I guess we come together. We have to figure out what can be done outside of those dire realities right there. And one thing that, you know, that I've been professing is that I'm kind of done with political candidates. Not to say that I don't think that we should support political candidates that are trying to do the right thing. It's just that even getting one in, two in, it's just not enough to really enact change. So if we can really kind of focus our attitudes or focus on issues, actually wrap ourselves around the issues and direct Congress, make Congress actually bend to our will, I think that would have a more likely progressive outcome. It's just actually getting, you know, doing it.
So basically you're saying like trying to alter or try to change how the system operates, trying to change the process, or trying to streamline the process so that like Congress is held accountable. That will attract that will attract a certain type of candidate,
right?
Because if we,
well, not even the candidate. I'm trying to attract people, not even a candidate, because as far as I'm concerned right now, I could give a damn who's in Congress right now. Republican, Independent, Democrat. I don't really care who's in Congress right now. What I care about is that they're actually serving the public interest. And if they're not, why aren't we holding them accountable?